All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sarabjit Kaur and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Uttar Pradesh records more than 61% voter turnout in third phase of assembly elections. Punjab registers over 70% voter turnout. President Ramnath Kovind to review Indian Naval Fleet in Visakhapatnam this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address plenary session of a webinar on education and skills sector today. Special CBI court in Ranchi to pronounce quantum of punishment against RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav in fifth fodder scam case. Kerala schools to have regular classes from today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his French counterpart in Paris. India beat West Indies by 17 runs in third and final T20 to clinch the series 3-0. And India becomes number 1 team in ICC T20 rankings for the first time in 6 years. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th August and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. And coming to our 55th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English, name the Assamese social reformer, writer, teacher and women's rights activist who established the All Assam Pradeshik Mahila Samiti in the year 1926. I repeat the question. Name the Assamese social reformer, writer, teacher and women's rights activist who established the All Assam Pradeshik Mahila Samiti in the year 1926. Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262. I repeat, 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. And now the news in detail. Uttar Pradesh recorded voter turnout of 61.02% in the third phase of the assembly election yesterday. Around 2.06 crore voters turned up to cast their votes till 5 p.m. for the third phase of UP assembly elections. A total of 59 assembly constituencies in Uttar Pradesh voted in the third phase of polling. Polling was spread across 16 districts: Hathras, Firozabad, Etah, Kasganj, Mainpuri, Farrukhabad, Kannauj, Etawah, Auraiya, Kanpur Dehat, Kanpur Nagar, Jalon, Jhansi, Lalitpur, Hamirpur and Mahoba. A total of 627 candidates were in the fray in the third phase.
Polling for 117 assembly seats in Punjab was held amid tight security arrangements yesterday. An overall voter turnout of 70.2% was recorded in Punjab. The final voting percentage, which is set to increase, will be known later after compilation of data. Rural Punjab recorded higher turnout than urban pockets. In the 2017 Punjab Assembly polls, the voting percentage stood at 77.4%. A total of 1,304 candidates, including 93 women and 2 transgenders, are in the fray this time. Polled EVMs will be kept in designated strong rooms under round-the-clock surveillance of CCTV cameras. Punjab witnessed a multi-cornered contest among the Congress, AAP, SAD, BSP, BJP, PLC, SAD, Sanyukt and the Sanyukt Samaj Morcha, SSM, a political front of various farmer bodies. The counting of votes will take place on the 10th of March. The President's Fleet Review, an awe-inspiring and much-awaited event, will be conducted at Visakhapatnam today. President Ramnath Kovind, who is also the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, will be reviewing the naval fleet comprising over 60 ships and submarines and 55 aircrafts. We spoke to Rear Admiral Sanjay Bhalla, Flag Officer commanding Eastern Fleet, about the Presidential Fleet Review.
During the review, the President will be embarked on INS Sumitra and he shall review 44 ships of the Indian Navy, Coast Guard, Shipping Corporation of India and NIOT in 4 columns. The crew will man the side and salute with the traditional 3 Jais, an act also termed as the man and cheership. The President will also witness a composite flypast and a colourful parade of sail. This is the 3rd review of Visakhapatnam, the last one being the International Fleet Review in 2016. The President's Fleet Review this year is special as it celebrates and commemorates the 75th year of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
This will be the 12th Fleet Review and has a special significance that is being conducted on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of India's independence being celebrated as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav across the nation. The President's yacht is an indigenously built naval offshore patrol vessel INS Sumitra, which will lead the presidential column.
All India Radio will broadcast a running commentary on the Fleet Review today. It can be heard on FM Gold and Indraprasth channels from 8:55 a.m. The broadcast will be live streamed on AIR Live News 24/7 channel and will also be available on Akashvani AIR YouTube channel. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the plenary session of a webinar on education and skill sector today. Education Ministry and Skill Development Ministry, along with other ministries, is organizing the brainstorming webinar on implementation of Union Budget 2022 announcements. The themes for the webinar include Digital University to making world-class higher education, digital teacher, widening reach of one class, one channel, and fostering stronger industry skill linkage. Our correspondent reports that 7 parallel breakout sessions will be held under the identified themes.
Government will hold a series of webinars across various key sectors to facilitate efficient and speedy implementation of budget announcements. The objective of this webinar is to brainstorm with experts from the public and private sectors, academia and industry and identify strategies on how best to move forward towards implementation of various issues under different sectors. Prime Minister will address the first webinar themed on Digital University, making world-class higher education accessible for all. The webinar will be attended by government officials of various ministries and state governments, industry representatives, skill development organizations, educationists, students and other experts. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Sekia, AIR News, Delhi.
A special CBI court in Ranchi will pronounce the quantum of punishment against RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav in the 5th and last fodder scam case today. Lalu was convicted in the case on the 15th of this month. The case pertains to illegal and fraudulent withdrawal of more than 139 crore rupees from the Randa treasury in Jharkhand when Lalu was Chief Minister of undivided Bihar. More from our Ranchi correspondent.
All arrangements have been made for RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav in RIMS hospital situated in Ranchi for online hearing of judgment in the final case of fodder scam. A laptop and an operator have been arranged at the special ward of RIMS for the hearing of the case to begin at 12 noon today. Special CBI Judge S.K. Shashi had convicted 75 people in the case, while 38 people were sent to judicial custody after the court gave its final decision on 15th February. Lalu Prasad has been shifted to special paying ward at RIMS due to his medical condition. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
Lalu Prasad has already been convicted in 4 other fodder scam cases. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Uttar Pradesh records more than 61% voter turnout in 3rd phase of assembly elections. Punjab registers over 70% voter turnout. President Ramnath Kovind to review Indian Naval Fleet in Visakhapatnam this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address plenary session of a webinar on education and skill sector today. Special CBI court in Ranchi to pronounce quantum of punishment against RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav in 5th fodder scam case. Kerala schools to have regular classes from today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his French counterpart in Paris. India beat the West Indies by 17 runs in third and final T20 to clinch the series 3-0. And India becomes number 1 team in ICC T20 rankings for the first time in 6 years. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to the morning news. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 175 crore 38 lakhs. Union Health Ministry said that more than 1 crore 89 lakh precaution doses for the identified categories of beneficiaries for COVID vaccination have been administered so far. In the age group of 15 to 18 years old, more than 5 crore 36 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as the first dose and 2 crore 15 lakh as second dose so far. Schools in Kerala will switch over to full-time regular classes from today in the wake of continuous decline in COVID-19 cases. A report.
Around 47 lakh students across the state are expected to return to school today after an interval of 2 years. Nearly 1.9 lakh teachers and 22,000 non-teaching staff will also turn up. Government has undertaken a massive cleaning drive in recent days to disinfect classrooms. Specific guidelines have been issued to strictly comply with COVID-19 protocols. It has been decided not to enforce attendance or wearing of uniforms. The State and Road Transport Corporation will ply more buses to clear rush. The police have made elaborate arrangements to regulate vehicular traffic. The schools in the states resumed functioning from the 7th of this month on a low scale in the wake of decline in COVID-19 cases. Prakash Sridharan, AIR News, Thiruvananthapuram.
In our bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Ved Chaturvedi of Gangaram Hospital, New Delhi will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on our telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
We, the people of India.
On the 21st of February 1948, the draft Constitution of India was submitted to the President of the Constituent Assembly by the Drafting Committee. The committee had received a draft constitution 4 months earlier, prepared by the Assembly's constitutional advisor B.N. Rao. Rao's draft reflected the decisions taken by the Assembly on the reports of various committees that were tasked with drawing up constitutional provisions on specific parts of the Constitution. The drafting committee, between October 1947 and February 1948, scrutinized, tweaked and added to Rao's draft, and what emerged from this process was the Draft Constitution of India, 1948.
The draft constitution consisted of 315 articles. organized around 18 parts and 8 schedules. It covered a range of topics including the structure of government, rights and center-state relations, etc. This draft constitution was the first blueprint of the Indian constitution that was publicly available. It was widely circulated to the members of the Assembly, provincial governments, central ministries, the Supreme Court and High Courts, and the general public, along with an invitation to provide feedback and suggestions.
The drafting committee reviewed and took decisions on comments it received and prepared amendments. Such democratic exercises of consultation and consensus amongst the members and people of India helped make the largest written constitution of the world, the Constitution of India.
We remember freedom fighter Birendranath Dattagupta, who was martyred on the 21st of February 1910. Born in 1891 in district of Dhaka, now Bangladesh, Datta was a member of the Anushilan Samiti. In the early 1909, he was sent by Bagha Jatin to receive arms training in the Sundarbans under the supervision of Satish Bose. After returning to Calcutta, he shot DSP Khan Bahadur Shamsul Alam, the prime investigator in the Alipore bomb case, on the 24th of January 1910 in the corridor of the Calcutta High Court. Birendranath was chased and arrested by the police. He died on the gallows in the Presidency Jail on the 21st of February 1910. We salute the great martyr.
We also remember martyr Chand Sukur. On the 21st of February 1947, during the Tibhaga movement in Dinajpur, now in Bangladesh, the police entered the Thumnia village in Dinajpur in search of Doma Singh, a leader of the Kisan Sabha. The peasants assembled in front of Doma's house to resist the arrest of their leader. Sukur Chand rushed towards the police with a lathi in his hand, followed by his wife. The police opened fire, and both Sukur Chand and his wife died on the spot. We salute the great martyrs.
We remember freedom fighter Mahipal Singh from Bhagalpur district, Bihar, who actively participated in the civil disobedience movement of 1930. On the 15th of February 1932, Mahipal joined around 4,000 people around the Tarapur police station to celebrate Jhanda Satyagraha Divas. The police warned them to disperse and then opened indiscriminate firing. Mahipal Singh was critically injured and succumbed to his injuries on the 21st of February 1932. We salute the great son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार प्रसारित कर रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held bilateral talks with his French counterpart Jean-Yves Le Drian in Paris yesterday. Both ministers appreciated the close cooperation between India and France during the COVID pandemic and agreed to further deepen the strategic partnership. As part of this endeavor, both sides adopted the India-France roadmap on the blue economy and ocean governance. The roadmap aims to enhance partnership in the field of blue economy by way of institutional, economic, infrastructural and scientific cooperation. Dr. Jaishankar said Mr. Le Drian also discussed key regional and global issues, particularly the India-EU relationship and the priorities of the French presidency and the EU Council that began on the 1st of January this year. Dr. Jaishankar appreciated the foreign French initiative of hosting an EU ministerial forum on cooperation in the Indo-Pacific, which will be held tomorrow. They also agreed to intensify India-EU ties under the French presidency and the need to begin negotiations on the India-EU free trade and investment agreements and implement the India-EU connectivity partnership. In cricket, India beat the West Indies by 17 runs to complete a 3-0 whitewash in the T20 International Series at the Eden Gardens in Kolkata last night. Chasing a victory target of 185 runs set by India in the stipulated 20 overs, the West Indies could only make 167 for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. India have become the number 1 team in the men's ICC T20 International Team Rankings for the first time in 6 years after its 3-0 series win over West Indies in Kolkata yesterday. India surpassed England, which had 269 rating points, to take the top spot. It previously held the reins over the format under Mahendra Singh Dhoni's leadership from 12th February to 3rd of May 2016. In this way, Rohit Sharma has become the second captain to take India to the number 1 position.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Jammu will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit, the temperatures will hover between 3 and 19 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. The national capital, Delhi, the temperatures will vary between 10 and 26 degrees Celsius. Mumbai had mainly clear sky, and Chennai is likely to have fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Arunachal to be major gateway to Southeast Asia. PM Modi is a lead in the Hindustan Times. As COVID cases dip, EC raises number of star campaigners, reports the Asian Age. Amidst continuing tension, India asks its citizens, students to leave Ukraine immediately, informs the Pioneer. In a move towards enhanced access for learners, UGC to let 900 autonomous colleges offer online degrees, writes the Times of India. In a bid to facilitate ease of doing business, Data Protection Bill may see key changes, is a front-page story in the Financial Express. After 2 consecutive washouts due to COVID curbs, consumer goods companies bet on a sweet and colourful Hevi, states the Economic Times.
Before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Name the Assamese social reformer, writer, teacher and women's rights activist who established the All Assam Pradeshik Mahila Samiti in the year 1926. WhatsApp your response on 88265 46262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Uttar Pradesh records more than 61% voter turnout in third phase of assembly elections. Punjab registers over 70% voter turnout. President Ramnath Kovind to review Indian Naval Fleet in Visakhapatnam this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address plenary session of a webinar on education and skill sector today. Special CBI court in Ranchi to pronounce quantum of punishment against RJD chief Lalu Prasad Yadav in 5th fodder scam case. Kerala schools to have regular classes from today. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar holds talks with his French counterpart in Paris. India beat West Indies by 17 runs in third and final T20 to clinch the series 3-0. And India becomes number 1 team in ICC T20 rankings for the first time in 6 years. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.